Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Duff, Jonathan, and Jess. How's it going, guys?
Hey, we're all here.
Yeah, we're all here.
We're all back.
We are, yeah. Limited Magic, I'm back. I can't promise I'll be here next week, because I still have a broken computer, but I'm here right now.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Oh, God, we spent too much time together.
You're here. Jonathan, what are you doing here?
No, we have so much to talk about. Jonathan can absolutely be here.
Fine.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Fine.
I did find something that we're going to talk about today.
That's true. You earned your spot.
Yeah.
I did.
Jonathan has earned his spot for sure. Just in his Twitter work alone, he has earned his spot.
Future 365 here. We forgot to mention something on the episode. This week on Sunday, the 22nd, if you're listening to this the day this drops or the week this drops, we will be doing our first ever HHN 36 live from Universal Orlando Resort. So we talked about it last week, 2 weeks, in one of the past episodes. If you've listened, if you haven't, go back and check it out. But we'll be doing our first one. If you want to come be a part of it, talk, ask a question, hang out, do whatever, take a pickle back with us at Finnegan's. We will be there. I think we said 1 p.m. on Sunday. So come hang out with us, maybe, possibly.
Please.
Please.
If not, do it on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, it'll be on our TikTok. Thank you. At HHN365 pod. So now back to whatever we're talking about on the show.
All right. Well, we need to hop right into it. But before we do, you can always find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. And we have a TikTok that is at HHN365pod. We have a merch shop, which is HHN365.bigcartel.com. And you can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. On today's show, we're going to talk about basically all the news, rumors, announcements. We have a lot to talk about that's happened over the last week, don't we, guys?
To say the least.
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from, but it's a lot.
We knew when we went on a cruise they were going to announce something.
Oh, yeah. Well, they sure announced something.
But I think we're going to kind of go from smallest to biggest.
We're not going to lead with
rumors. No. There's no main segment.
Okay, fine. I don't agree with this move, but I'll let you guys do it.
Basically, that final thing, the announcement, is going to be our main segment on its own.
Okay.
So
you're going to make me sit here and
talk about HHN permits?
Yeah, talk about permit.
Hey, welcome back,
when
Mike.
I really want to talk about something else. I'm so excited to talk about this.
Isn't that how a podcast works?
Sure. Okay. You talk about permits. No.
I will. You damn right I will. Fucking love a permit.
I want to learn about the
All right,
permits. Somebody tell me about the permits, please.
Permit 365. Here we go.
Well, the first 3 permits for HHN build-out have been filed and made public this year. That is going to be for both Sprung Tents and B79, which is the old Parade Warehouse. So it's always kind of exciting to see when that's finally starting, which feels like it's earlier and earlier every year. Here we are. They're going.
Wow.
Yeah. Any more permits, though?
No, that's all permits.
They're very short.
I love a good permit.
If you listen to last week's episode, you may know that we recorded it a week early. So we just missed by literally a day the Evil Dead Rise full trailer, which we said, oh, the little teaser looked really good. I bet the trailer will look good. We'll give you our thought. It was fucking great.
Oh, my God.
I loved it.
It was so good.
It was way more gory, way more intense emotionally than I expected it was going to be.
Fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I think there's enough scenes in that trailer to make an HHN house out of.
Oh, and they did. Oh, they did in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Boy, did they make it in Hollywood.
All right, Jonathan, our MacGyver, what do you see in here?
Hello. So I there's probably a lot of if you look closely, a lot of details you can spot, but these are the 3 big scenes that are direct from Horror Hotel, no matter what anyone else tells you. And the first scene is if like on the Twitter, I know there's two versions of the trailer. One has like a longer scene, but the one on Twitter, the first scene showed a kitchen, and the kitchen was the exact same kitchen from Horror Hotel. And later in the trailer too, the person in the kitchen goes on fire, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty similar to the scene in Horror Hotel, almost exactly. And then the next one was there was an elevator, and if you look at the elevator in the trailer and you look at the elevator from sort of the facade, like the first thing you see before you enter the maze in Horror Hotel, it's the same exact elevator. And then the last thing, which is the most obvious thing that everyone has seems like they've pointed out already, is that you see in the trailer there's the demented mother in the bathtub, and she puts her hands out and holds onto the bathtub and then like sticks her head out in the exact same motion that the animatronic did in Horror Hotel. Like exact. If you look on our Twitter, we put a before and after. I made like a little joke saying like, this is I can't wait to watch Universal Horror Hotel. I mean, Evil Dead Rise. If you look at both pictures, they're like exactly the same thing. Just one of the animatronic in Horror Hotel has like the face ripped off to pretend it's not the mother. Even the hair is the same, the clothes are the same. So this house was 100% supposed to be Evil Dead Rise until they, pulled it essentially.
Can we mention that John Murdy actually came out and kind of tried to poo-poo that it's the same thing? Even
that's kind of why I said that little thing saying like no matter what anyone else tells you, because like you were mentioning, someone compared the scene from the bathtub and said this seems very similar to the trailer from Evil Dead Rise, and John Murdy went like, oh, but bathrooms are a horror staple, and showed like a GIF from The Shining. And it's like, no, John Murdy, it's from Evil Dead Rise. Don't try to pretend it's not.
Oh, John.
So this raises a bunch of questions, right? Like the first one being, do we think Hollywood, let's say they get Evil Dead Rise again. Do you think like Hollywood will like choose to have it like and just have the same exact Horror Hotel house just with all the missing pieces added in and made it, just an official Evil Dead Rise house? Or do they try to lay it out in a completely different way? Or do they not even touch it? Because, I mean, it will be obvious to any guest that went to the year before that Evil Dead Rise was 100% Universal Horror Hotel without a doubt.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, we're talking about Hollywood that has ended up doing houses scene for scene over. So are they going to care that it looks similar? It is a different property? I'm not sure that's the case.
It's a unique situation because we've seen, repeats before, but I don't know that much about Hollywood's history, but I don't think we've seen something as strange as this happen before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's beneath
to the point
them.
Where it comes back.
No, sorry, Duff.
No, that was all. Sorry.
Okay. No, I just don't think it's beneath them to repeat a house that we didn't really see. If it's John Murdy, he's gonna put a Band-Aid on and say completely different house if it saves money or gets him another, IP or whatever. So I don't think it's beneath them. That's not a knock on Hollywood either. I really liked Horror Hotel, so they did something with it. But I really like this trailer, so I kind of hope it comes to both coasts.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if it came to Hollywood. Obviously, I want to see it in Orlando because the trailer was badass.
Yeah.
I assume the movie will be as well. So, it just feels like one of those properties that is kind of to the point where it's big enough where if one coast is getting it, so is the other. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Well, actually, speaking about that, our next segment here, it kind of leads right into that sort of question about getting the property of Evil Dead Rise. Because our legacy segment, a insider for that we've talked about over and over again, said on the Inside Universal forums in quotation marks, regarding The Last of Us, because people were asking about like a potential The Last of Us house or whatnot. He said, regarding The Last of Us, the original rumor I heard last year was HBO approached Universal to do a house. Then the show got delayed. The house turned into what we got in 31, which was Descendants of Destruction, and HBO/Warner Brothers offered Evil Dead Rise as a replacement. Here's a gift, since you couldn't get Last of Us. And then Evil Dead Rise, the movie got delayed, so they couldn't even use Evil Dead Rise.
Wow.
And so I find that really funny. And I also wonder, does that hurt the chance of us getting Evil Dead Rise? Because like it probably doesn't matter, but there's a possibility that Universal getting like having two IPs and both having them like pulled from under them, if this is true, is just like a little annoyed,
Yeah,
about working with them again.
There's definitely got to be a factor of like we got burned hard by this company last year. Do we immediately go and work with them right away? Obviously, they have a lot of properties or potential properties that they could do in the future. But, is it kind of, I don't want to say punish them for what they did, but, not just go right back to being like, oh, great business partners.
I mean, I know it's more HBO with The Last of Us, but if it's HBO and Warner Brother, 30 also had some issues with Beetlejuice, especially on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So this could be 3 strikes you're out kind of a thing. If we want to go that far back, we could even probably go farther. So those are just the ones we know about.
At that point, we're talking about supposedly from what we know, when we go back to 2021, it is Universal who fluffed that and caused the issues. This time it was Warner Brothers. So are they just even now? It's like, oh, oops, we both fucked up.
Oh, well, maybe we will get. What if one coast gets The Last of Us and one gets Evil Dead? I don't think that's a fair trade-off. Just for hype, because I know The Last of Us. It came. I mean, I feel like Eugene was talking about watching it. Did it come out tonight, or is it out tonight?
I think yeah.
I think tonight because Eugene was. Yeah, Eugene was talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, Charles Play.
Wow, look, I knew something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, selfishly, as someone who knows he's going to both coasts,
right?
Split these properties up on each coast. That'd be fucking awesome. And obviously, at that point, Last of Us goes to Hollywood because they've already done Evil Dead Rise, basically.
Right.
And then
ours was prison.
The
H,
but it had an H.
Can we get some H's in the chat for Jonathan, please?
Oh
my god.
There will be, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode.
I do have. I'm not familiar with the Last of Us game or whatnot.
Same.
But is it anything similar to Descendants of Destruction? Or
yeah, like not the story wise, no. Setting wise, very much.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've seen like footage from it, but like, okay, interesting.
But like the end, no. When it gets a little too sci-fi at the end, no, that's not so much Last of Us. The beginning half, definitely Last of Us.
You mean there's no glow in the dark creatures in The Last of Us?
Not quite. I mean, there's definitely some sci-fi shit, but
I don't think I'll watch it
that level.
The Last of Us isn't exclusively like set in like underground or the subways, but there definitely are times where it is underground.
So what happens? Let's say we get The Last of Us in Orlando, for 32. Do you think people's opinion of it changes due to the fact that they saw Descendants of Destruction in the previous year? If they have,
I think story-wise and the different settings they can go to in Last of Us as well will make it different enough where that won't be an issue at all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Outside of the people who just like want to say that, knowing what we now know.
Can I ask a question for, I guess, the two of you who know The Last of Us or are familiar? Mm-hmm. Would that property lend itself well to a tent? Because it was going to be a tent house?
Yeah. I don't think you need massive sets at any point.
Okay.
I think a great example of what you could do is when we're looking at the crash subway scene in Descendants. That's kind of the scale and the forced perspective that would really lend
Yes.
itself to The Last of Us.
Oh,
The
okay.
Last of Us is going to be highly reliant on a really great special effects makeup. It's going to be the
Oh.
makeup and the costume, and that is going to be what The Last of Us relies on, making a great house, because those creature designs are amazing, and it's going to require really, really good special effects makeup.
And I'm really curious how they're about to look in the show.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
they
I'm
pull it off?
interested.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Well, now I think I need
for
to
sure.
watch this
Yeah, I
with
want to watch
Eugene.
tonight if it came out tonight.
All right, we'll report back next week for episode 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm reading our outline here, and I'm thinking we should shove something in right here, so it doesn't just go to the end and people have stopped listening, because we have news for us and not just
Yeah.
HHN. Right?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Should we?
Let's do
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
let's
yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have led with that.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
We're here.
Yeah.
Prize in the middle. So we are starting. Finally, we've talked about this since day one, really, Mike.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Finally decided to bite the bullet. I think we've gone and done it the right way. We've created an HHN 365 Discord server. So basically, we can build a community around just chatting HHN, haunts, and some general theme park stuff. We got a lot of fun things planned.
Yeah.
We're going to do events in there, potential giveaways. Again, it's kind of focused around the whole community aspect rather than just discussion about stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think when Duff and I created this, we really just wanted a way to kind of like, I think it was really just kind of our best way to like get part of the community, because neither of us are kind of like sit down and just kind of like talk on a forum about it. We wanted this kind of a talk, and I feel like Discord's a good happy medium of both of those, where we can sit down and have audio chats with people and really discuss the hobby that we really like to discuss in an audio setting, and as well as a forum type setting as well. So I think it's kind of best of both worlds for us, and I think it's a great medium to move forward with our podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So by the time you're listening to this, it is live. You can now find that in the description of this podcast. You can go onto our social medias. You'll find it there. Inside our link tree, of course, it'll be there as well. We'll have the updated invite to the server, and you can join us. And, we'll pop in as often as we can and chat. Jonathan's actually going to kind of lead the project as like the head admin. So he's Discord daddy for 365.
Don't call me that.
Wow. We had Big Daddy earlier. Now we have Discord Daddy.
That's your that's your email, Jonathan.
Discord daddy
Daddy
at HHN365.com.
I can assure you that it's not going to be.
I can make it whatever I want, but
Yeah, I was about to say, I
God.
think Duff can do whatever the hell he wants to do with that.
oh my God.
but yeah, please swing by the server. We're all going to stop in when we can as well. And, outside of the events, we'll chat too, and let's make it a fun time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Should be awesome. I'm excited to get this started.
Same Discord daddy, same.
I will not be calling him that.
No, that's the last time that's ever coming out of my mouth.
Oh, okay, good. I was about to say, ooh, maybe don't join our Discord.
The bit is over.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So back to the HHN. Actually, they're all. I was going to say like HHN and Haunt. No, it's all HHN today, isn't it? And Universal. Actually.
Universal, yeah.
Whoa.
Should we
Forgot
start
about
with
Whoa. Whoa.
No, we'll go here next. Because those two tie together.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one's fun. Jonathan, you were the first one to see this. So you could take it.
Yeah. So I alluded to it early in the episode, but on Reddit, to promote the Megan movie, the M3GAN, the killer doll movie, Megan on Reddit, the official account, on an Ask Me Anything, responded to someone's question. Someone asked them a question. It's not really that relevant, but the last line of her response was, "I can't wait to go to HHN this year," with the little eye emoji. And like this doesn't mean anything one way or the other, confirm anything one way or the other, but I will say it's kind of sort of like a Weekend situation that we had last year, where we can kind of put the uh what was it, like an eyeball emoji and a knife emoji and a blood emoji, like quote tweeting a Horror Nights thing. It's similar to that. I think there is a chance that Megan might have just leaked that they're gonna that property is gonna be at HHN in one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not confirmed by any means, but I'd say things look a bit more likely that Megan will come to the event, which I wouldn't be surprised if that fully means it's just Horrors of Blumhouse Volume 4, with Insidious, Exorcist, Five Nights at Freddy's, any of those properties coming out this year from Blumhouse.
I'm kind of surprised we got something, this big of a rumor this early. Like this is kind of woo, like especially after knowing one house already with it being announced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about it. Keeps the rumors flowing pretty early, so that's good because it's been a little slow previous to this. So it is pretty early for for the IP itself to leak that. Gotta say, but thank you, Megan and Blumhouse, for giving us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of something to talk about, though, Duff, you and I recently watched the movie, Megan, without giving any spoilers, because we're not going to do that. How do you feel about Megan possibly coming to HHN this year?
Oh, if it is in a Horrors of Blumhouse style mashup, I think it's perfect. I don't know that I think there's enough content to fill an entire house itself, but I think there's several like big hitting scenes that could be a lot of fun to fill out like a third or a half of a house.
I completely agree. I mean, I think we were in the theater and we both like looked at a certain setting and went, that's HHN right there. That's an HHN setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it could be great. And a good thing about Megan compared to Chucky is that, as you've seen with every single social media promotion that they've done for this movie, you can have people as Megan instead of like having it have to all be puppets. So it makes it a little more, it makes it different enough from Chucky in my eyes that like they'll both like definitely work in the same year.
Yeah, I know everyone's been making that comparison. Megan is not a Chucky style doll by any means. It's a very different situation. If anything, she's more like the Terminator.
Okay. So you guys like the movie overall?
Oh, yes. Anyone listening who hasn't seen it, if you are into campy like horror comedy, and also the horror gets pretty gory and fun at points. This is top tier for that category.
Oh wow! I have to go see this.
Okay,
it's great.
Wow, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
There's a moment where she sings a song. Stop. I won't say the song, but the moment that the whole theater was dying, and it's like a campy, but like also like a very creepy moment. But it was just so. The only emotion was to just laugh out loud, although you feel a bit disturbed at the same time.
Oh, I might need to go see Megan tomorrow.
And now I'm waiting for this moment to happen in the house because I would die.
It was so good. I mean, that moment has to happen now that you said it. Like it just has to, or at least be background music to a scene. Like it would be amazing. But I mean, speaking of that comedy aspect, Megan would fit perfect in a Horrors of Blumhouse situation because you can have a serious IP. Like I know Blumhouse has Exorcist coming out soon, or Insidious, whatever one you want to pick, or all three. And Megan could be that section in the house that's very lighthearted and gives you like sort of a breather until you get back into the darkness of whatever IP follows that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's perfect fit for Horrors of Blumhouse. And would anyone be shocked if we saw Volume 4 after the success of Volume 3 last year?
Not at all.
I don't think so.
No, not with the IP, not with the movies that are coming out that are in Blumhouse.
Yeah, and their lineup this year is so perfect for like A, HHN, B, promotion, because
Yeah.
two of them are huge, three of them are huge names, because Five Nights at Freddy's to
Oh,
a certain demographic is massive. Like
People have been
massive
begging
IP.
for that at HHN for years.
Yeah, so if that somehow lands at HHN, Duffel and I were talking about this earlier today. Like, that's going to be a huge get.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh my god, you think there's kids running around now? God.
I guess that kind of wraps up the rumors for HHN. Anyone else? Anything else to discuss about what we got coming, or should we get into the what we'll call the main segment?
You know what? We have one more piece of news that I just realized I should have wrote in this outline
Hit me with
today.
it. Let's go.
And it's something we already knew about and we've already talked about before, but I guess it's official now. Today was the last day of Kid Zone.
Oh
yeah.
All
Duff and I
right.
were there. We brought my kids. Yeah,
Aw.
we
Awesome.
rode the Woody Woodpecker Funhouse coaster.
For the last time.
We
Last
did.
time.
Yeah.
Got to throw some balls at children. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Duff.
Duff, you are on a roll.
I mean, that's literally what happened.
Oh god. I'll miss drinking a lacto cooler walking through Kid Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like obviously I have memories of it as a child doing what I did in it today,
Yeah.
and even as not a child doing what I did in it today.
The Ball Factory is like just the hidden gem. Of
It really
Universal.
is. It really
I
is.
love that.
That and Camp Jurassic. Mwah.
Yeah.
But the amount of hours I've stood there during HHN in my life is insane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now that's going to be gone forever. So
Yeah.
pretty sad on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
My favorite memory from Kid Zone comes from 2021 or no, it was 2020. It was 2020 when they had the special Beetlejuice Day, and there were so many angry guests by Kid Zone saying what was happening with the virtual line. Why can't I get in? This and that. And during the whole time, Barney's out like singing and saying like "I love you," as all the guests are like. Are so angry. So that was amazing. Like I will, if I think about Kid Zone in the future, like that will be my memory right there.
Nico and I were one of those angry guests.
You were.
Oh no. I was
we
But it
crying in
wasn't
the
at
corner.
Universal.
and not at Universal. We were angry at the people who screwed us over. But we ended up getting in, right?
Yeah, you did.
we did.
You did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow, I was crying in the corner after going through that house. That's
was
my
also
memory
the
of
whole-
Kids.
Hey, that's great. What a way to go out. Well, not go out, I guess, but
Wow.
late memory. Late memory. Also, Jonathan, if you don't remember that day, I was trying to go in for the first time, and we were like, I don't know how we're gonna do it. And 2 minutes before they close, he's like, I do have this one that expired a little
Okay.
bit ago. And I was like, Jonathan, we're going in.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, but it's expired. I'm like, we're going in.
It was expired. I didn't think they would accept the ticket.
Oh,
No
come
one had walked
on.
in the- no one had walked in the queue in like 20 minutes.
I
They weren't
don't know how the
taking
system
anything.
works. I try to follow the rules.
Well, did they let us in?
Well,
The guy looked at us for a second and just went whatever and let us in. But
Exactly.
Yeah, Nico and I was told like five times that we could not go in.
Yeah.
The sixth time, someone just let us in,
aw.
and we did it. We made it in.
Wow.
it was so funny because the day the day you were talking about, Duff, like the end, like we came like the last 2 minutes we're going through that house, and by the time we walked in, I think the first Beetlejuice on the facade like was kind of just sitting there, like, and then we walked in like oh shit, people, and then
Yep.
had to
How
turn on again.
Beetlejuice of him. Wow.
So that was a good memory.
That
I'm
was-
gonna miss Kid Zone for those reasons.
By far the best interaction I ever got out of Beetlejuice in that spot, by the way. Ever. That first run on
Yeah.
Beetlejuice Day.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to you in HHN 30 Beetlejuice?
Oh,
Remember
Um,
how excited we were about that house?
Like,
on
oh, it's going to
Beetlejuice
be
Day?
so much better. No. Nope.
So many changes. They're gonna add actors in the Deo scene. It's gonna be great.
Right?
Duff,
Well,
do
they
you
took
not
out
remember
actors.
walking through with me on opening night and me going, wow? On the way, everyone looked at me and said, so, and I said, don't talk to me right now. They did nothing. Nothing.
No, they did made zero
Ugh.
changes. Zero
Whatever.
changes. For
Wait, so do you get how are we gonna get to the parade building? The old one.
Good
No. The Simpsons gate?
so-
Are we gonna have to walk?
I mean, ET is still open.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh,
they're
so-
somehow they're getting to
But
ET.
think about that. That can only be an exit or an entrance. You only get one or the other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That'll probably be an exit still, I'd assume.
Or an entrance.
So your entrance is probably going to be worst case scenario, Simpsons Gate. I'm sorry. Well, which one is better? No, Simpsons Gate's worst case scenario. Probably.
You could do animal
Yeah.
actors.
No. Simpsons is better because I think that's more of a straight shot they'll give you at least. Worst
Oh,
case
yeah, yeah.
scenario would be over at the. Why do I always forget the name? Esoteric Gate. Is that what that
Esoteric.
is?
Yeah. Esoteric.
By
yeah.
Cafe La Bamba.
Yeah.
That's that
Yeah.
gate?
Where the parades come out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's the other option, I'd say.
That walk.
And that's a long wrap.
Yeah. That's long.
Oh my god.
But
That's
I don't.
very
Where
long.
else could you come out of
No.
or
Yeah.
enter? I don't know.
Yeah. No. If that whole area is just going to be a construction zone, you're going to have to. Yeah. Probably going to have to go esoteric and either in or out. One
Yeah,
of
but
those.
for people,
Yeah.
I know people who were like, maybe they just won't use the parade buildings. Well, we just got a permit for B79,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Oh, they're not going to stop. I
Those
mean,
are
so here's the thing: you
massive.
probably because they can. We know they can both exit out of ET. They do it every year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's going to keep. But I guess at that point, you're probably looking at Simpsons and Esoteric Gate as separate entrances, right?
Yeah. Probably
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Each one is going to be an
For-
entrance,
yeah.
and then the exit is going to be a shared exit
Mhm.
out of ET.
that's interesting.
That would help the flow of people, I feel like, a little bit.
Yep. No, you're right. You wouldn't get as many crowds around the front of the queues, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Although
then you could put more food by the exits, I guess, by E ET.
I do wonder how having an entrance at the Esoteric Gate could affect the flow in the two scare zones it's right next to.
Yeah.
Which
if
is
it's
why I
back
brought
far
up that
enough.
prediction of maybe them getting shifted around a bit. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So then, yeah, do you have a new parade building be Simpsons entrance and then old parade building be esoteric? I guess you can.
That probably makes the
Probably.
most sense.
Makes
Yeah,
the most
because you're not
sense,
going to send Esoteric even because you'd have to
No.
walk past
Yeah,
old
Mhm.
parade building to get to new from
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to put some amazing IP in the in IPs in those parade buildings, or else like people are not gonna want to take those walks to get there.
No.
People already don't want to. and they
Yeah, I was
still
gonna
do.
say the walks were already bad.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my god. We're going to die.
But I am curious to see if that's what actually happens. I cannot think of any other routes that would work outside of them trying to cram them together somewhere.
Yeah, unless you have the exit and entrance both out of ET, and you're just like
No, there's
split.
You can't.
not enough space.
No,
No,
You like physically
no.
probably cannot. It's probably not safe.
So we're just gonna be walking even more next year and the year after probably, and maybe
Hooray.
the
We're
year
getting
after.
we're
Who
getting
knows?
older and the walks are getting longer. Have you noticed this?
Well, can we get a people mover?
I was thinking that. I was like, let's do a moving walkway. Like a little it's a dark ride through the HHN houses.
Duff and I earlier today saw the fastest jazzy scooter we've ever seen, and we
Oh, no.
both were like really jealous. We wanted to get one. We were like,
Just flying.
it was like 25 miles an hour.
That
and
thing thought a car was coming,
Oh my god.
but it was a 90-pound woman on a 9-pound scooter.
yeah, you could just fling it on your back. Like it was like going. Very,
Oh my
It was
god.
crazy. Give me one of those. All right.
like it could probably be like street legal how fast it was going. I really want to talk about this jazzy scooter,
She's got NOS in it.
right?
Oh my god.
I wonder if she had a family bumper sticker on the back.
There were two of them too. The first one came, and we were like, "Holy shit, that was fast!" And then there was the other one. They were racing each other.
Oh my god!
It was very, very fast.
Why do I not get these experiences when I go to the theme parks with you guys?
I don't
Because
know.
you're the one who ends up in the scooter.
Shut up! I stayed on both of my feet for all of HHN 31, and you celebrated with me.
I did. I'll celebrate again.
We're gonna do it. We realized it's Eugene. I just need to be around Eugene.
That's all it is.
He makes me more careful.
Isn't he supposed to sweep you off your feet, not keep you on your feet?
He's
Poet
the
over here.
balance.
Stuff.
He's the balance of my
Real
life.
Shakespeare.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god! Shall we move on to our main segment?
Please, let's go. Yeah.
So I'm talking about this lady on a scooter.
That is the main segment, if you really think
Oh.
Yeah, the main segment is
The ladies on the scooters.
Oh god! I can't wait for that to be the thing we post on social media. Just the scooter.
Live on our Discord, the scooter races of 365.
the Jurassic Park section of the City Walk Park.
we dinosaur movie.
No. Jess, do you want to take this next one?
I don't know. Okay,
You good?
sure. No. All right. All right. No, I'm not.
Is it going to be like, what are those races called where they build their own carts and race them down a hill?
Soapbox Derby.
Yeah.
I'm going to name my scooter Dinosaur Movie because we're racing it in the Jurassic Park
Dinosaur. But you have to sing the song as you go down.
We can each have one. Mine will be
I already
Cat
do
in the
that
Hat.
while I drive my car, so.
Double will have Jurassic Park.
Yep.
You can have Jaws, Jonathan. Jess, which
Thank
one do
you.
you want? King Kong?
I don't. Did he just ask me what I wanted?
Yeah, after taking away 3 options first, he did.
Can I be Beetlejuice? Is that not the option?
Is there a Beetlejuice Juice garage?
No.
It's a Beetlejuice garage. Absolutely.
There's not a
I love the
Beetlejuice or a
Beetlejuice garage.
Beetlejuice. No, there's not.
Is that a Cat in the Hat rhyme? There's not a Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice.
If you've made it to this far in the episode, you deserve an award.
And this is where the big stuff is, too. We're just lollygagging.
The best episode ever.
My stomach hurts.
We can't have all 4 of us. It doesn't work. I'm
No.
sorry.
It was great. It's great.
All right,
Just whenever your stomach's back in order.
my stomach. Well, it'll never be the same. So, if you have been living under a rock or in the middle of the ocean for the last couple of
Hello.
days, it's us. Universal made 2 huge announcements. When was this? Last week, Tuesday? I don't know. Whatever. Sure.
Okay.
A new Universal Park in Frisco, Texas, designed for children and families. Quote, it will be full of family-friendly attractions, interactive and playful shows, character meet and greets, unique merchandise, and fun food and beverage venues. It will be 97 acres large. The concept art shows DreamWorks properties, Top left looks like Camp Cretaceous. Bottom left, Madagascar ? Top right, Shrek with a potential dark ride. Bottom right, Trolls has a boat ride going through the entire park. Now I'm going to go look at that picture I described.
I will point out that, like, we say top left Camp Cretaceous, and that's under the assumption that's the brand they use because family park. But it kind of also, it just looks very generic Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So the
I understand
assumption
what
is Camp Cretaceous. It fits.
Well, also, something interesting is that DreamWorks makes Camp Cretaceous.
That is
So
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we're
Yeah.
going under the assumption that this is a DreamWorks park, then they probably would pick the
Ah.
And
DreamWorks.
that is pushed
But-
hard towards like kids. Like
What's a Camp
Jurassic Park
Cretaceous?
Camp Cretaceous
But
is
also-
really being pushed.
Is that a
hard
show?
towards that age.
A movie?
DreamWorks, obviously not animation, but DreamWorks produce the original Jurassic films as well, and the current, all
Oh,
of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not not the animation division, obviously, but
Oh,
they're all
wow.
DreamWorks. And it has the
Interesting.
great scene on the VHS of The Lost World where the DreamWorks guy is fishing and he gets ripped down by a raptor. Love that.
Oh. Wow. Is Camp Cretaceous a property? Like in the Jurassic Park world? What is that?
Yes,
It
it
is.
is a Netflix animation
Animated,
that had
yeah.
4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, it's very
Oh.
popular.
It's
I
over now, unfortunately. It was actually enjoyable.
only knew of it from theme park things.
dinosaur,
Dinosaur movie.
for kids.
Eugene tried to put one of them on the other day, and I walked out of the room just out of just out of pure spite at this
Largest
point.
butts on the fastest jazzy scooter ever.
You would love Laura Dern in Jurassic Park, okay?
I'm gonna watch one eventually, but at this point, I feel like it's just I gotta live this out as long as I possibly can.
No.
All
Stop.
right, whatever. All right, so we got dinosaur movie. What else is there? Trolls. I do love a Trolls. Is that the flower?
Yeah,
area?
definitely. There's definitely going to be a Trolls area. That IP is really huge. You know, there's
Oh,
going to be more Trolls movies for like 2. There's going to be there's 2 so far. There's more to come. That's a very big property for that company. Shrek, I think, is a little bit past its prime, but I think it's still great for this type of setting.
So I will say, actually, talking about that, it seems like, okay, so I have a little brother and we actually went to go see the new Puss in Boots movie together. And it was actually really solid. I like, if you know, it's a family movie, but it actually had some jokes in there that I'm like, oh, I'm surprised they put that in this type of movie. It felt sort of like the original Shrek and some of the jokes they did.
Oh, good.
But it seems like, without saying anything, it seems like they're going to try to rejuvenate the Shrek property again in the future. And so they're, at least that's what, it seemed the direction they're going in. So I wouldn't assume it's like a, sort of past its prime property yet. I think they're actually going to try to do things to, rejuvenate it and maybe make more stuff in the franchise itself.
I mean, I would love that.
Yeah.
Because
Shrek rides.
Shrek is great. Yeah, it
I love
tracks
Shrek.
for sure. I love Shrek.
They did
And
just take the
that's
musical
great to
off
hear about
Netflix.
Puss in Boots too, because I'm about to take my kids to that and one of these, maybe tomorrow.
It's a good film. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it, even though I'm not in the target age range for it. It was a really solid movie.
All right.
I'll have to check it out.
So
So
the-
just kind of. Oh, go ahead.
No, so I'm actually like looking at the concept art like fully because on the cruise ship I could only get grainy images up on my phone. I couldn't look at anything clearly. So it's just gonna be like a bunch of themed flat rides is what it looks like to these
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, if you're just looking at it, it feels like it's somewhere in between a small theme park and a Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
It's going to be definitely water park heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said it would
Very
be like what?
interesting concept, but also it's really cool to see Universal like take on projects like this that will probably be very successful. To be honest, I mean, this is in the Dallas area. That's a massive market. I don't know how much family entertainment they already have out there, but probably nothing quite like this.
They have a Great Wolf Lodge in that area.
Mhm.
That's about it. That's their main competition,
Yeah.
I would say. And,
Oh, which this is taking on directly. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I do know someone who lives in like literally in that area, and they were saying the traffic on that highway, like directly where it's going, is already atrocious. So bringing in tourists is going to probably make it 10 times worse. So locals are worried
Yeah.
about,
Welcome
roads.
to our life.
That's what I said. I was like, oh, wah, wah, sucks to suck.
Right.
As I'm sitting
Driving
on
to
my floor.
Mike's today was fucking miserable.
On a Sunday? Okay. All right.
It's holiday weekend.
Oh, it's always bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a holiday.
Yeah, I live like basically in like what ESPN world of sports. Like, yeah, it's I live right into it in the thick of it.
It's the worst. Yeah. It is. Oh, cheerleaders are coming now too, I believe. Pop Warner started. Yeah, Pop Warner started this weekend. Mike, for us specifically, it's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, your area is about to get slammed with cheerleading.
Mhm.
I didn't leave during the holidays. I really literally just stayed in my house because I could not. There was no road out of my house that was
it's
good.
safer just to stay.
Yeah,
It
I
really
just didn't
is.
leave.
So sorry, Frisco, Texas, but it sucks.
The implications of this park, though, are, I mean, insane. You know, being able to have just like, first of all, this helps Universal's brand, theme park brand, because Universal isn't really seen as something for families. Yeah, like you know, little kids. You know, sort of like what Disney is now. Having a park, like a little park, but a park, like literally the target audience being kids is, I think, great for them and great for their image. And I mean, this opens possibilities. So what if they want to expand across, you know, the United States and do little things like this? It doesn't have to be DreamWorks. What if they do something Nintendo, like a Pokemon Land or something that's sort of this in the same vein?
Yeah.
No,
you know, they have the ability to take their properties and make mini parks out of them, like all across the United States, or, you know, even farther than that if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I fully expect this is a plan that, if this does well, we are going to see many more of these across the country and potentially world.
I hope they start building quickly because my littlest one is 3. I think he probably has about maybe 4 years until he's aged out of this. And so they need to start moving. They need to start moving because I really want to be excited about to bring my kids here, but I don't have a lot of time. I'm a little worried that by the time this is built, that they're going to be aged out of this demographic of what it sounds like. They're really going to kind of, it sounds like they're going for the younger, like the Legoland Peppa Pig park type.
Oh, it's very Peppa Piggy.
Peppa Pig, they're kind of already aged out of, to be honest. My oldest
These
one.
properties are a bit older than that.
Yeah.
Older demographic than that. Yeah.
I mean, the Jurassic Park one, I think you could probably push it till 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited to have a reason to go to Dallas. Yeah.
Awesome. Any last comments about this little project before we get to the other project that to us is a much bigger deal?
I think it's exciting as someone who, growing up exclusively, my parents, we were only allowed to be Disney kids. Universal was there. We visited every so often, but my parents were very much those like Disney elitists. It is nice as an adult to see Universal step up their game and be like, we're trying to bring full themed entertainment, and Disney's still working with the same 4 parks over here in Orlando. So it's kind of nice to like shove it in my parents' face right now as someone who like prefers Universal, you know, as an HHN person and everything now. So I think it's amazing.
Universal's parent company, Comcast, has really just funneled in so much money into the theme parks. I know there was a lot of concern when they were bought out by Comcast that they were going to just kind of let them stagnate and kind of just let them die. They've done the opposite. Yeah. They have the potential. They have saw the potential of this is how they survive the cord cutting era. Is that you really have to fund the money into the tourism part of this company, and they've done it. And they've really and it's amazing. Just as a theme park nerd, how they have invested into this side of the company.
And you know, as a 365 podcast, as an HHN podcast, we'd be remiss not to mention. On that note, like before Comcast came in and started doing this shit, HHN was the basically only thing keeping Universal Parks and Resorts afloat. Period.
Yeah.
Literally.
And like now it's like maybe like financially number 5 or something for them because Comcast has come in and they're just tossing insane amounts of money at the wall, and it's all sticking.
Yeah.
Well, okay, there's some attractions that aren't sticking. But the plan is full.
Family.
Right.
Family. It's just nice
Fallon
to...
and
oh wow, the 3 Fs.
The one that like if you're like over 180 pounds you can't ride. Secret Life of Pets.
Oh my god.
Family, Fallon, and Slop.
It's just nice to see Universal like putting the money in and putting in the work and having pretty good products, from where they came in the early 2000s where everyone thought they were going to die.
Yep.
We just got Nintendo World in Hollywood. They're doing soft openings now, or
It
like
looks so
technical
good.
rehearsals.
Oh my God. I'm
Looks
trying to get
it
out
looks
there.
incredible. One of the most, I'm trying not to look I try not to look at this stuff, but whenever stuff does like happen to pop on my feed, like it is some of the coolest things I've ever seen in a theme park land.
But the sight lines.
Oh
Oh,
my
fuck
God.
the sight lines. Disney doesn't even care about the sight lines anymore most of the time.
Here's the thing. I prefer I get a fully immersed land, but one, if your argument is Disney, no, they don't. Universal has lands, specifically one that has better sight lines than any single land Disney has ever made in any
Yep.
park anywhere. So shut up. Done.
And
Yeah.
also Nintendo, if talking about Nintendo World, that park set, there's another one in another park, but specifically about Hollywood, Universal Studios Hollywood. That's Universal Studios Hollywood, and Nintendo World is like on the upper lot. Like I think it's on the upper lot. Like there's no way
You can't hide the real world. You can't.
Yeah, there's no way you can avoid sight lines in that area. Like if you want, like the fact that there's an immersive land in Universal Studios Hollywood, which is supposed to be mostly a studio and not a park, is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny. These are the complaints now. Just wait till this thing opens in Epic, and all these complaints they can't say them. They won't be there.
No.
Yep.
So just wait for the big boy of them all to open.
I'm excited to go visit. Hopefully, when I go to WrestleMania in March, I will be able to go see Nintendo. So we'll see.
Hoping for the same. Well, not for WrestleMania, but
yeah. I mean, I was like, oh, you're going to WrestleMania, Duff?
No. All right, time for the big one.
Oh,
if you're anyone who's ever said HHN should be year round, one, I think you're wrong, and it would take away from a lot of the fun. However, an HHN style event that maybe happened year round and had some other activities would be great, and it's real, and it's coming to Las Vegas.
Yeah, in an environment like Las Vegas, where you're really there just to party and get the shit scared out of you, I think this is a perfect idea. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So you may have heard of Area 15 in Las Vegas, where they have Omega Mart, which is a Meow Wolf property. We're also opening an Area 15 here in Orlando as well. Maybe another reason you've heard of that. They're going to add a 100,000 square foot year-round horror attraction from Universal Parks and Resorts. So, hello. Well, actually, we'll get to the concept art after. It will, quote, bring to life Universal's massive library of classic horror films, as well as some of today's most terrifying tales. It will offer various immersive horror-centric experiences that surround high-energy food and beverage spaces by day. These areas will transform into haunting bars and eateries by night. They will be updated with seasonal events and distinctive merchandise. So, again, this is not just like haunts and a single haunted experience or anything. This is a massive horror experience. We're going to have multiple things to do.
Yeah.
Especially including food and bars and stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of things that are already in Area 15 or around that area that I think we can draw upon to kind of have a picture, an idea of what type of things they could really pull off.
Yeah.
And I feel like not any of them are really going to be horror focused, or some of them are horror adjacent, but I don't think any of them will fully compete with this HHN. I think the main thing that you can look at, and like if you want to look up Lost Spirits, the distillery, I think we can get an idea of what this is like, just potential of what this might look like, of what they're pulling over at Lost Spirits right now. So and some of the horror escape rooms and things like that, you can get a picture of what this might look like.
Yeah, and I think a positive here is it being paired with something that's anchored by Meow Wolf property. If you haven't visited any of the Meow Wolf properties like Omega Mart in Vegas, I highly suggest you do so. Because if you like HHN, there's a very high chance you'll enjoy these. They're very immersive, beautiful experiences that have a lot of detail and a lot of fun in them. But I don't think you can put something in that space that can't like be at the same level. So
Yeah.
I think you have to expect Universal's going to put out a really high level product here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing about Area 15 is that they're all very like all the stuff that's in there. You would think they would directly compete with each other, but they all kind of compatible with each other. They all have very similar themes, but they all seem to work, and none of them are going out of business.
Yeah.
So
they keep each other afloat.
They keep each other afloat, but they're all very similar in tone. And I feel like with this HHN thing coming in, it's going to be similar, but it's going to have a very distinct horror theme that is lacking from Area 15.
Mm-hmm. And I will say Vegas is an area where when they do horror, they aren't afraid to make it scary. So I think we could see a very like high intense scare experience here, which is fun to know.
Yeah.
I mean it's possible they even go a little more intense than they do, in just the normal Halloween Horror Nights events.
Well, yeah, that's the rumor for sure, is that they're going to kind of lean into that 21 plus type of setting, and that they're really going to try to pull off some of the stuff that they can't do in either of the other two parks, and try to pull it off here.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Before we get into the actual concept art, just the base that we've discussed here, Jess, Jonathan, anything, how you feeling about just kind of like what it is without the details?
I have never been to Vegas, so this, I wanted to go anyways, but this just kind of makes it like, oh, now I really got to get out here. Like, hopefully before this opens, because I just want to go, but now, like, definitely when this opens, I will be there.
Well, what are you doing in a couple of weeks?
Absolutely nothing. So,
we'll talk about this after the podcast. But more the merrier. Doug and I are going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. You're officially invited.
We'll talk after. We got nothing going on.
But yeah, I mean, this experience sounds amazing. I think Vegas is the perfect place to put this type of experience. It is surreal that the brand of HHN is so powerful that it can extend beyond the parks. And, obviously we don't know how well it's going to do, but I'm going to guess it's going to do very well when it officially opens. And the seasonal changes, it really excites me because I love when haunts are able to look a certain way in the Halloween season and then look a different way, in the Christmas season, and and change, depending on what time of year it is. And the fact that this area is gonna this experience is gonna do that as well is really exciting. Like, what does this look like during Christmas? Because HHN doesn't really, we have some Christmas houses, but they don't dive into it too much. What does it look like when we get into the holiday season? What is it? What do the experiences look like when we get them? Are we going to have just generic houses, or not generic, but basic houses? Are we going to have escape room type things, sort of like what you guys were discussing on the last episode with the Jurassic World escape room? Are we going to have interesting photo ops? Like, there are so many things they can do in this space. It just, my mind goes everywhere in trying to think about this place, because they can do anything with this type of environment. And we're going to get to the big thing quickly with the concept art, but some things that were brought to attention in that art makes me very excited in the direction this place can possibly go.
Yeah, and I was going to bring exactly that up, because you mentioned how cool it is that like HHN as a brand can carry itself out into new cities and do something like this. And based off this concept art, it's literally the brand, because I don't see Dracula, I don't see Frankenstein, I don't see any of the Universal monsters or any large Universal horror movie properties. I see Jack standing out front.
Yeah.
I see Chance, and then
an unknown. Yeah,
it's Hollywood Harry. Come on,
Harry looking.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's Hollywood Harry.
The thing is, he's so far in the shadows, it's really tough to tell. And I will
It
say,
doesn't matter.
Chance looks a bit off too, so maybe that's why he's a bit off. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I mean, that's definitely Jack, though.
definitely Jack, definitely Chance.
They're kind of like
100%.
AI versions of Chance and Hollywood Harry.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But I mean, this is literally flanked by icons.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jack basically will use the word welcoming guest into what is a massive warehouse with ominous red lighting. And it is a badass piece of concept art.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
there's always the question regarding, just the normal events, not just this, about like, is this the year that icons are finally dead and they're going to stop using them, and this and that. Once again, the fact that they're putting icons in this is special experience in Las Vegas that isn't even connected to the parks, like at least, it's I mean, it could be but we'll talk about that later. But like, it's a special experience in Las Vegas. The fact that icons are there, once again, just speaks to me and says icons like Jack Chance and probably others like aren't just going to die. Like, they have a place in HHN history and they have a place in HHN marketing, and they are characters that just work for Horror Nights.
Absolutely. Yeah. To piggyback off of what you were also saying earlier, Jonathan, I definitely expect escape room type experiences or multiple. The Las Vegas escape room market is very heavily horror based when it comes to what they have over there. They have the official Saw escape room. They have the Blair Witch one that is by the same company that's right next to the Saw. And then they have the basement, which is kind of started in SoCal and is kind of known as the very first like horror themed escape room, and it has a very good reputation. So I really believe that there is going to be an escape room type of experience here, just because the market really, really kind of can sustain it, and we've seen it with what is already there. And also, I think you are definitely going to see like a cycle of different like houses that you can, like in this type of warehouse type setting, you can start building a new house while you have an end date of another, and you can just kind of cycle through houses, hopefully, and so it does not kind of stagnate, and it's always fresh.
With the mix of modern and old properties, having that mixture of old and new is something that HHN always does well, and I'm sure this place would be no different. And I mean, there's a possibility too, if there's a big movie coming out that year, that maybe something regarding that big movie appears in that Las Vegas experience, sort of like the pop-up Stranger Things experiences. And I know Netflix does a ton of pop-ups for like their shows. Like
they did that video store one last year, I think.
It was for Fear Street.
I think so.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 years ago.
Yep.
It was amazing.
I suspect this area to be highly IP heavy. I'm actually quite shocked that this concept art has like kind of like universal like icons, because when I first heard it, I thought, oh, this is going to be IP focused. This is going to be whatever movie, a brand new Universal movie is going to be coming out. They're going to have a themed house or escape room about that. But it looks like Universal has decided to, at least when this announcement, is really to lean into their HHN properties. So that is exciting to me, because when I first heard this announcement, I thought, oh, this is going to be like Hollywood. We might get an original concept here or there, but this is going to be mostly IP focused. And I'm consider me wrong by this concept art that came out maybe 30 minutes to an hour after those thoughts that I was having. So yeah, absolutely.
But who's to say that just because we have this concept art that there's not a dedicated space in this, experience that will be just for a rotating IP of whatever Universal or
definitely
Blumhouse or Monkey Paw film is coming out, like whatever they're working in association with. But there still is like, hey, if we could get like an Icons bar, that'd be fucking cool. Like a fully developed HHN Icons bar based on what they did at Cabana 2 years ago.
Oh, please. Like a real thing.
Yeah, like a
Please.
real, and it could lead into an escape. Like it could be the pregame for the escape room or whatever. And there's still a haunt. And I would love for them to play off of like that more intense side of like, hey, there is an option of where they can put their hands on you. It's Vegas. Like this isn't a theme park. This is something where we can sign waivers and small batches of people and we can control things like that.
And I
So
was going to
there's
say,
so much potential.
to your point, but kind of on the opposite end, maybe because this has only been announced as like a year-round horror experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's kind of going to be mainly the IPs, but there's always going to be a haunt or a specific area that's always dedicated to being like the Halloween Horror Nights section of this building.
Yeah, definitely.
And like maybe it's the smaller part, but it's got its own dedicated section, and that's always going to be originals from HHN, and maybe it does
That's
have
more
its own
likely.
bar or escape room or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
You can watch Art of the Scare in a theater.
But I think I don't know. It does say a lot, though, potentially, that the face here is literally Jack.
Right.
I think above all else, he's definitely going to be, the face and whatever entity is creating this experience in whatever story they make. You know, I really think that he and Chance are the head of everything. And then when you go inside, like, he controls whatever's in that warehouse. And I mean, can we talk about that for a second? Because the concept art looks like a warehouse, and it's possible. It's not like exact. It's kind of just like wouldn't this be fun? What if it is related to the Marathon of Mayhem show we had in 2021 regarding the Carnage Factory? Like, what if maybe not an exact replica? Like, what if it is something like that? Like, this is a factory that Jack owns that projects your fears, and that would make it a perfect place for both icons to fit in and original properties and also IPs, and also would make sense why they rotate. Your fears are always changing. So I mean,
Funny
that'd be
you
cool.
say that, because on the cruise I looked at Duff and said, wasn't there a warehouse in one of the big years, the 10, the 15, the 20? And he was like, the 20th. And I was like, wasn't that a warehouse of all of the HHN like ever like props and just banners and shit? And that's what it looked like to me, because the icons were leading that as well. So
that's a good idea too.
Of course, my brain didn't go to Marathon of Mayhem, because why would it? But I left that. I like that idea too. Both. Por qué no las dos?
Yeah.
All the warehouses.
I think the most exciting thing for me of this announcement is this nugget where it says during the day you're going to get a totally different experience that's going to lean into the food and dining type experiences. I think it's not going to be necessarily dine with this character type. It's going to be if you look into like Lost Spirits and what they're doing over there already at Area 15, where it's like highly themed, kind of immersive spaces where you kind of walk through and you get like almost a show, and then you sit down and eat. Like the potential here, what they can build around some of these HHN properties, it's going to be so much more than what we have ever seen with like dine with this character. It's something that they've never been able to do in the parks, because it's just like a seasonal event. They can't build anything so like immersive, but now they can. It's going to be insane what they could really build here. It's going to be almost a show, like a dinner show.
Yeah.
We're going to do an HHN dinner show.
There will be, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I love it.
There's just so much they could do, and we think of the easier possibilities: a haunt, dinner show, speakeasy type bar, escape room. Like those are the more obvious ones. And I'm sure there's experiences that are much less obvious that they're going to have, that are just going to just the concept is going to blow our minds when we hear about it.
I'm so excited.
This is crazy. This is like every HHN fan's dream of just a permanent space for HHN year round. Yeah. And when it gets to that time, you're in January, it's January and HHN's over, and you're just like, kind of like us now, like, oh, I miss HHN. Okay, go to Vegas. Like, and there's a sort of a HHN type experience right over there.
So what I'm
just
hearing,
think of the potential, guys. Like, We could really get some old throwback stuff here. Like we could get Midway of the Bazaar. We could get Terra Correntis themed experiences. There's so many things. We could get so many things here that are fan servicey as experiences with like dinner shows or one-off houses or seasonal things. I'm very excited what they could do here in a year-round space.
Definitely. I think the exciting thing here is living in Orlando. Obviously, HHN is as a brand is massive. It is Halloween here, basically. Growing up in South Florida, it was a huge brand as well. I think we're going to see what HHN as a brand is nationally now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably bigger than we realize.
Wow. Our little baby's growing up.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, but also what I'm hearing is we're gonna have an annual off-season 365 Vegas trip
Yeah.
once this opens.
Just
Yes.
one. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll only stick to one. Sure.
No, an annual. It's coming up every year. Every year in the
Oh,
off-season.
we're making a trip literally every
other
year.
month.
I mean, this is what we can do in the off season, right? We can just
Yeah.
talk about what's going on in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh my God, we have so many things. Wow, look at us.
And personally, for me, this is like best case scenario. Because as I mentioned earlier, I've never been a fan of the idea of like HHN experiences year round. Like people say it more jokingly, I think, but I wouldn't want it to take away from it being special. This isn't a separate location. This doesn't affect HHN the event
At all. I saw
maybe
people tweeting about
maybe
it.
on a canon level, which we haven't discussed yet. Like, could this carry a year-round HHN canon that
Yeah.
ties into all the events? And we have a lot more time to talk about that eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
This thing is barely broken ground, if at all. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. No, it's a parking lot right now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's,
I thought it was dirt now.
Is it dirt?
I think it's dirt.
Okay. Well, it was a parking lot at one
Hey.
point.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they've turned it into dirt.
Okay,
Best patch of dirt I ever saw.
but I don't. This doesn't sound like it's going to be a super soon thing because again, they're building a massive facility, so it's not going to be like a turnaround and it's going to be here in a year.
Yeah, and this is going to anchor this expansion where there's going to be a lot of other things as well going in. They're going to be much more like Area 15 type style. So like there's an outdoor space in the concept art that I suspect is probably not going to be about HHN, but maybe it is. I think I suspect that this is mostly going to be indoors. But could you imagine if we got like a outdoor space of this as well? Man, there's so much potential that they could really pull off here, like a food truck area. So many really cool things.
Yeah, I'm just very excited to learn more as it comes, see the progress, and hopefully sooner rather than later we do start to hear a bit more details. But excited either way.
We were just talking about Comcast, putting a lot of money into the parks and stuff like that, and this is just it's not really the parks, but it's just an example of that.
Parks and Resorts division still.
Yep. It's crazy to see, and I can't wait to see what this ends up being, and even how our HHNs eventually expands, because I mean they know for sure that HHN is one of Universal's big money makers, and I can see every year us getting bigger, and like we have been really getting bigger and better stuff. So this is really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Not that we haven't said enough, but anyone have any last minute things they want to say about this, other than obviously 365 will be there day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw this out. Do you guys think there is a less than 0% chance that this is capped at 21 and over during the night experience?
I'd say probably not 21, maybe 18.
You think so?
Maybe 18.
Does area whatever is any of their stuff age? I don't know what I'm asking right now.
Lost Spirits is the one. I think you have to be 21 because it is a distillery tour. They're giving you free alcohol. I believe Lost Spirits is the one that is you have to be 21. That is the only one though.
Everything else you can be whatever age.
Yeah,
Yes.
So-
Megomart, everything else, Wink World, all the other experiences, you can be all ages. But at a certain age, a certain time, and I think after like 9 p.m. or whatever, the Area 15 does turn into 18 and up.
Does it?
So it's like it hits
Yeah.
a certain time where it becomes
I'd probably expect the same thing from this.
Yeah.
okay.
I could see there being like maybe during the day you can definitely bring like I wouldn't say anyone younger than 13 since HHN is literally marketed to 13 and up. But at night, definitely putting an age limit on it and even having areas that are age restricted if they do go more intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Do you think they lean into like the Vegas thing and go more of the sexy side of some of the things that we've seen at HHN?
Gonna give a hot house a new meaning.
Oh, I don't know. I think they don't.
I mean,
think
I
there's
could
a
definitely
line.
could see it with some of the shows. I
Oh
think
yeah.
like Nightmare Fuel and some of the things that we've
Yeah.
already seen. I could definitely see it with some of the shows.
Get like a full-on burlesque show.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Speaking. Oh my god. Okay, actually, now I'm into that.
Yeah,
I would love that
definitely.
in the Icons bar.
Dude, there's so much. There's so much it could be.
We should do an episode where we build our own like dream HHN
Ooh.
Vegas experience.
That's a concept.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm writing it down.
All right.
It's gonna be solely escape rooms for me.
It's gonna be 10
Escape room and show. Yeah, escape room, show, dinner show.
You can have the dinner show,
I'm
but I
sure-
call dibs on
yeah,
the Icon burlesque show.
Oh, you got it.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that's probably it, right? For that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep endlessly speaking about what we'd like to see.
I
at this
mean,
point.
we could talk about
Isn't
it
that
for
what this
hours.
podcast
the
is?
potential. That's what I'm so excited about this. Is the
Oh, yeah.
potential
I'm not
is
saying when
endless.
we have to stop talking about it. I'm just saying when we have to turn off the mic.
Right? Like we could start talking about the different seasons, like in the different
Oh, yeah.
holidays.
Oh my,
There's so
is this Grease too? Are we doing the girl for all seasons?
Right?
No, I'm the only one. All right. Anyway, someone who's listening
I don't know what that
has
was.
seen
Each
Grease.
in our blood and guts.
Grease 2? Come on, guys. Grease 2.
No,
Damn it.
sorry.
God damn it. Someone who's
was-
listening, call in, please. 407, whatever the number is, and tell the guys that you've seen Grease 2.
I was
it.
more
Just
thinking
say
like
that
an
and hang up.
Arbor
Like,
Day
that's-
house.
that's all
you
right.
know?
Exactly.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Sorry, my Grease 2 knowledge. I'm a theater geek, but my Grease 2 knowledge is lacking. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. Michelle Pfeiffer. She was in Grease 2.
Yeah, she was. You're right.
Oh my god. Sometimes I hate being the only woman. All right, moving on from Grease 2, please.
Well, I think that just kind of brings us to the end.
Yeah.
Mike, if you unfortunately want to take us out.
Well, definitely. So, I mean, there's so much to leave us a voicemail about. I'd like to give us a little, leave us a voicemail about what would be the most exciting thing that you would want to see at an HHN Las Vegas experience at 407-906-4134. You can always, and also let us know on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well.
Well, don't let us see it on YouTube. We won't see it. Probably.
Let us know if you've seen Grease 2.
Oh yeah, no, all the
Please.
Grease 2 stuff you can do at YouTube. We'll be really quick to respond. But yeah, this and also check out our merch shop at hhn365.bitcartel.com. This was a really exciting time, guys. I can't wait to continue to talk about HHN and all the stuff that's coming up. And
you know where you can talk about it? In our new Discord server. Go check out the invite in our description in this episode and on our social medias.
yes,
And our link
Come
tree.
talk,
mainly.
come
That's
talk
the
about
easy
Grease
place.
2 with me.
yeah.
We don't have a channel for
Yeah,
that.
that'll actually get you kicked if you do it too much.
Oh my
Sorry.
god, no, it won't. I have access in there. I'll ask somebody how to use it.
Sorry,
I'll
I'm
make
the
a
server
Grease
owner.
2
I
channel.
trumped it.
That's her theme of the derby car. Hers is Grease 2.
It's not Beetlejuice, it's Grease 2.
No, it's Grease 2.
You guys,
Greased lightning. Yeah.
that's not even in Greece too. They ride motorcycles.
Oh, they switched? Really?
Yes, there's so much going on, Mike.
All right. Well, I was gonna watch The Last of Us, but I guess I have to watch Grease 2 tonight.
Only no. You only have to watch it up until a certain scene and then turn it off. It's trash.
Okay, fair enough. We'll talk about this later. All right. Well, I hope you like this episode, and we'll see you in the streets.